Okay. Hi there. I am Jennifer Elizabeth Masters, and today I am here to talk to you about narcissism. What is a narcissist? What makes somebody a narcissist? How do they get that way? Is there a cure for narcissism? And whatever other questions you might have about narcissism. I was just in the Abraham Hicks Facebook group, and someone made a comment that they'd like to date themselves because they have all the qualities that they would like in a partner. And someone responded, "Doesn't that make you a narcissist?" Okay, so I'm glad you're back. Thanks for finding me. Okay, so let's just talk about what is a narcissist and what are the traits that we can see most often in narcissists. All right, so number one, a narcissist is someone who has a very big ego. They have a false persona, and then they create an artificial persona, and the artificial persona is one that is grandiose, has great plans, might think they're the best at whatever they're doing. They may be everything they talk about is just so wonderful. I'm the fastest swimmer. I am the best runner. I am the best author. They have grandiose ideas about the things that they can accomplish in the world, and an inflated opinion of themselves. But that's all ego, because underneath that false persona is a hurt little puppy, someone who didn't get the love and attention that they needed and deserved when they were a child, and their parents were not present with them. So that is what causes narcissism. So I'm going to go on further to describe what are the attributes or characteristics of a narcissist. So a narcissist is always right. A narcissist will never take responsibility for their part in something. They would rather point fingers at other people and blame others. They cannot take responsibility. And when you point out something that a narcissist is responsible for, they will do everything in their power to turn it around and make you the bad guy. They can never say they're sorry. They do not feel empathy. As a matter of fact, emotions, they don't feel what other people feel. They don't feel compassion. They have a really hard time putting themselves in anyone else's shoes. It is always about them. They love to take center stage. They love to be idolized. They love to be told how wonderful they are. Of course, we all do. And truly, every single one of us has characteristics of all personality types within us. But the narcissist has all the narcissistic behaviors, of course, are heightened or enlarged, as the case may be. Let's see what else. Obviously, they've had some sort of trauma in their childhood, and the bottom line is they're very insecure. They absolutely cannot experience intimacy. They keep people at arm's length and never let people see them up close. So it's very difficult to get inside the heart of a narcissist. You may find a narcissist is absolutely heartless, as a matter of fact. And then when it comes to love and relationships, there is gaslighting involved, which will make the other person that is not narcissistic feel like they're absolutely insane or crazy. And this is one of the tactics a narcissist uses to manipulate their victim. Let's see, a narcissist, if you have a narcissistic mother, your narcissistic mother was probably in competition with you, did not enjoy the fact that you were doing better than she did, or even may not be happy that her kids are doing well. They delight in other people's misfortune, unfortunately, unless it's their wonderful event. So they're in competition often with their children, they're jealous, and of course they're extremely insecure. So they have a tendency to make their children extremely codependent, dependent on their love, which of course is actually in very small quantities, and they often use the carrot and the stick, manipulating you to get you to do something for them to make them happy. And so they often make the other people responsible for their happiness. Narcissistic behavior is sociopathic behavior. It is a pathology. It is something that they cannot help themselves. And now the other flip side, the positive side of being a narcissist, narcissists, because they don't feel like the rest of us do, they don't feel what others feel, they don't get their feelings hurt very often. It's a rare thing when they do. And so they tend to be very healthy people. They're very strong. Their countenance or their physical body is very strong, and so they can live a long time. They can be healthier than the rest of us because they don't feel what other people feel. Okay, so hi there, everybody. Thanks for being here. If you have any questions about narcissistic behavior, I would be delighted to answer them. I grew up with a narcissistic mother. I married several narcissistic men, and so I wasn't aware at the time. This has taken a lot of uncovering to recognize patterns, and what has happened recently in this discovery is that a lot of my clients have narcissistic mothers also. The birds of a feather flock together. And so what I will say is that the wounding when we have a narcissistic parent is very deep, and we may spend a lifetime trying to please that parent or trying to make them happy and being in service to that other person. Narcissists are often martyrs. But like I said, you cannot go to a narcissist and point out their flaws and faults. That is when you will see their anger get really riled up. They will turn it around on everyone else. They cannot accept responsibility for their actions. And of course, you will not get a sympathy card. You might get a card, but not heartfelt, and they will never tell you they're sorry. All right, anything else? Does anybody have a question? I could talk to you about who are famous narcissists. Well, Donald Trump is one, Paris Hilton, Miley Cyrus, let's see, oh my goodness, what's her name? Barbara, the singer in New York. I'm trying to remember what her name is. Totally escapes me. So there are a lot of narcissists that are on center stage, that actors, actresses, musicians, often, probably Mick Jagger. There's a lot of very famous people that are narcissistic. Now, like I said before, everybody has an element of all the personality characteristics and traits within us. Some are heightened to more extent than another in different people. And of course, this, we're complex people, complex individuals, but the thing that really sets a narcissist apart from others is the fact that they don't feel deeply, that they cannot love, they don't feel loved, they are very insecure, and so this false persona that they create is like a shield or mask. And the thing that I will say in getting to know narcissistic behavior and overcoming the wounding from narcissist, when you really start to sink in and feel so comfortable with yourself that you can be totally authentic no matter where you are. This is one thing that a narcissist once told me. I'm different with everybody. I'm different with the grocery store clerk. I'm different with the people at church. I'm different with my attorney. Well, that is not true of somebody who is authentic. When someone is authentic, they are the same with everyone. I'm the same with you as I am with my clients, as I am with my children, as I am with my pets, as I am with my neighbors. So, okay, so that's the flip side of the balance between someone who is not narcissistic and someone who is. The gaslighting can be extremely painful. It is something that keeps you off balance, and like I said, many of my clients have had narcissistic parents, and so what that does, it sets you up for attracting narcissistic people into your lives. So if you've had a relationship with a narcissist, you may want to take a look and see, did that person you date have characteristics of one of your parents? Because that is a possibility. It certainly was for me. And of course, when you start to look at your relationships and you really start to look at the patterns, that's when these things sort of play out in a really big way in our lives. So here's the thing, is that a narcissist is made, not born. A narcissist becomes a narcissist because their parents were not present with them. And it's typically the parent of the same sex as the child. So in other words, in Donald Trump's case, his father wasn't present with him, and that is what made the difference. His father gave him money, but wasn't capable of loving him. He was busy making money and not present. And so this often happens when a parent, like Paris Hilton's father, not around, creating an empire. And, this is what we do as parents. We're out there busy making a living, and so we don't recognize what's happening when we're not present with our children until it's too late. Can a narcissist be healed? Well, most people would say no, and I would say that because a narcissist is incapable of looking within at their own stuff, they're not ever going to want to go get therapy. They're not ever going to want to get help because there's nothing wrong with them. And often, if a narcissist does go to therapy, it's going to be short-lived. It may be one time, and that may be it. So I'm just going to check and see what you've got to say here. How do you spell it? Narcissist. Narcissist. I had a title up here, but I'm guessing it's missing. Narcissist. It's Narcissist, I believe. Okay. Any questions? Barbra Streisand. That was it. Barbra Streisand. At the moment, I couldn't think of her. So, we're talking about narcissistic behavior and any narcissist that we happen to know, and what is the pathology, what types of things happen. So I'll just talk a little bit about my case. I was a sweet little girl, very timid, and I did my best to get my mother to love me. It was a wasted effort. I mean, my mother told me that she loved me, but I knew she did not bond with me. She wanted a boy. I was a girl. She was always in competition with me. She was jealous of me. When I had a very successful married life, all she did was pick apart my husband. And narcissists are quite capable of destroying people's marriages. They can do it with aplomb, and my mother destroyed several. They can make you feel crazy. They can certainly make you feel very insecure. It's taken me, a lot of years of really serious, deep introspection and inner work to come to a place where I'm happy with me. So back to this Abraham Hicks spiritual group that I was in. Someone made a comment, I'm just going to repeat because you might have missed it at the beginning. Someone made a comment in this group that they really were happy with themselves, loved themselves, and they wanted to date themselves because they'd make a perfect partner. They have all the attributes of what they want in a relationship partner. And then someone said, isn't that narcissistic? Well, when you love yourself, there's a difference, because narcissists don't love themselves. Actually, they're very insecure. So loving yourself is not narcissistic. Loving yourself is what we are meant to do. The more we love us, the more love we have to give. And until we love ourselves, we are not able to feel love when it's given to us, nor are we able to receive it. So what happens when you don't love yourself, then you're looking at your partner and you may ask them all the time, do you love me? Do you love me? Are you sure you love me? And often someone who's very insecure would say things like, I don't know why you're with me. I'm sure you could get somebody better than me. That's coming from a place of insecurity. All right. Let's see, what else? So, narcissists are abusive. They abuse their partners. They abuse their children. They are certainly not emotionally available. So, if you've had a parent who was a narcissist, it is likely that you are emotionally unavailable unless you've done the inner work. I had a hard time recognizing this one, and it's taken a long, long time to get to this place of not being emotionally unavailable. So what does that mean? It means that there's nothing there, that you aren't present in your heart, that you can't reveal yourself to another person, that you keep someone at arm's length and you don't let them see what's inside, that you don't let them see the real you. That it's like stripping off your clothes, but in a conversation, that you're allowing someone to see you bare naked, up close, with everything revealed. And so when we're able to be completely authentic, so this is the thing, narcissists aren't authentic. And so they can't have intimacy. They cannot bond. They're not present in their hearts are closed, and they're extremely wounded. Okay, so unless there's any questions, I'm going to wrap this up. So narcissistic behavior is a pathology. It's a sociopathic behavior. And it comes from a place of deep wounding. And because a narcissist will tell you there's nothing wrong with them, they will not go for therapy. They are usually not diagnosed. I know my mother went one time, and the psychiatrist must have asked her a question that got her to feel deeply, and she didn't like it. And she got back in the car. My dad and I were waiting in the parking lot. This was many years ago, and she said, I will never go back. She made me cry. They don't like to feel. Very sad. So I hope that this has helped explain and answer any questions you might have about narcissistic behavior. And healing the wounding from our parents is paramount for us to have a happy, boundless joy and intimate experience with our loved ones. I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you lots of love today. Bye from California.